Welcome to PA Timber Goose 2. Today we're at State Game Lands 257, aka the Wildcat. Haven't been up here in a few years. Got one car back there. This parking lot used to be full back in the 80s, and this is where I learned to hunt. What was it like hunting back in the 80s? We had lots of deer and lots of hunters. You could come in here rifle season, this entire parking lot would be full. Every parking lot all the way out to the road was full. And definitely a pumpkin patch in the woods. Lots of action going on. Lots of guys pulling deer out of here. I kind of miss the old days. I'll give you a quick tour of State Game Lands 257. What's around here? Alright, let's change camera mounts here. It's pretty warm today. It's the thermometer on the dashboard says 77 degrees. And up on top of the mountain, Devil's Hole was very windy. It's like a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust up there. This is 257, and this area over here where that car's parked used to be like a food plot there. A lot of times when you would pull in here in the morning, there would always be deer out there eating that. I believe it was some kind of clover and alfalfa. There's a hunting club down the road. There's a gate here if you go through. It goes all the way in the back. That's all private property. I'm not sure how many acres the hunting club owns. The main trail is right here on the corner. It goes all the way back, and it takes all the way back to the big power line. There's two power lines here. The big power line's in the back. The small one we passed. We'll take a look at that on the way out. But most of our deer always came back from this side of the mountain. Fortunately, the other side of the big power line is posted now. We used to hunt that area. You used to be allowed to hunt up above the Tabernacle Church, and due to some hunters behaving very badly, that area is now posted, so we can't hunt in there. Not sure how many deer my dad and his brothers pulled out of there. Myself and hunting partner, we got quite a few out of there also. But no more hunting back there. There's another trail over here, and there's also a wire. The wire follows the property line all the way back in there, and then it makes a hard right and it comes all the way down and around. And then you can follow the little gully in the back. It'll come all the way around, and you'll come out on the power line on the other side. That's where PA Timber Goose was born. That's where I saw the giant buck walk between a few people and check him out, and then walk away as I was waiting patiently for him to come out the other side so I could give him a poison mushroom, but he outsmarted me. It's very thick in there. The mountain laurel, spin you around here. The mountain laurel directly behind me, the deer like to hide in. There's a lot of hemlocks in there, some white pines. Great thermal cover, and great summertime cover too. That's a tour of the game lands. I think I'm being watched over there. I see a car moving. 257. This is where I learned how to hunt. Sure do miss the old days back here hunting with my dad and his brothers, and some of the people we went to school with. This used to be the happening spot. Everybody got deer back here back in the early 80s when we actually had deer in Pennsylvania, and we'll touch on that a little bit more later on. This mountain here is covered with red oak and tons of mountain laurel. When we used to hunt back in here, we used to all wear hip waders because there was so much moisture hanging on the mountain laurel. You would be soaked by the time you got back to your spot, and then you would sit there and shiver till the sun came up. And then when you came back again, you got another dose of water because those mountain laurel were drenched. We're going to take a walk down the small power line here. It's really dry in here. You can see all the infestation over there. Look at all those dead trees. That's a lot of bug damage. I always like walking down this power line here. We'll take a walk up on the other side too. We'll take a look down the other side. This is what we always called the small power line. The big power line is up further. That actually runs up through the gun club. You can actually park at the bottom of that and walk up in there and hunt if you want to hunt the bottom. I still hear some katydids. Thermometer in the van says 77 degrees. And back there in Devil's Hole on the top of the mountain, I couldn't make any more videos because we have 30-mile-an-hour winds up there. It might even been more than that. You couldn't hear anything. I got to get off the top of that mountain with all these dead trees there. I don't want any dead trees falling on me. I had a huge maple limb come down over the summer while I was making a video, and it landed right where I was standing, and that probably would have been the end of me, or something even worse probably would have happened. Take a stroll down here. This area over here has a very interesting history. You can see that this area was used to get burned out every so many years. Somebody would drive by down that road for some odd reason. They would keep burning this area out about every 5 years. It used to be all birch trees, paper birch, I guess you would call it. I just call them birch trees. Pennsylvania has a black birch and a white birch, and that whole area over there was always white birch. But for some odd reason, every 5 or 6 years, somebody would come back and torch that, burn that all the way down. And that's happened 3 or 4 times. But now it looks like the oak trees came back. I have been up here for over 20 years. And you can see the oak trees starting to sprout on the bottom again. I guess that's a good sign. The storms should knock the rest of the dead wood down. That's a pretty hefty infestation. This area on top of the mountain here used to get hit very hard with the gypsy moth. They would actually defoliate this area at least twice till they started spraying it. I'm not sure how many times you can defoliate red oaks before they die, but every year this spot seemed to be getting hit pretty hard, and they started spraying it, and then that was the end of the gypsy moth. You could actually see them crawl in the bark of the red oaks with their cocoon, and then they would die, and they were everywhere. But, I'm really surprised there's that many dead trees over there. They're probably from the spotted lanternflies. But the base of those all look like oak trees, so that's much better than the white paper birch. The deer always hid in here. Every time we would come back here to go hunting, we would walk real slow in rifle season, and one person would be follow the edge of that, and one person would be hanging back, because a lot of times they would come out and run across the road and go in this side, and you always had a lot of action in here. Might have to hunt this area again sometime. Some of these areas I always come back into in late muzzleloader with the truck, because you need 4x4 to get in here when it snows, and just follow them deer tracks. Fresh snowfall will never lie to you. Keep following them tracks till you catch up with a deer. You just have to be very observant and patient, and you will get a shot at a deer with a flintlock. Flintlock hunting's a lot of fun. I gave it up for a while, but I have a better gun now. It's much more accurate. Alright, let's keep strolling down the power line. We'll go all the way to the end, and where the next tower is, there's a big overlook down the other side. So we'll turn you on when we get down to the other power line. You can see way out there today. It's the wind's starting to die down. Now we're probably down to 10 or 15 mile an hour gusts instead of 30. Much better. Always loved coming up here. A lot of times when I would hunt this area, I would just sit on top of this power line and eat my lunch and lay in the sun for about 2 or 3 hours, and then around 2 or 3 o'clock I would go to another spot to sit until it got dark. Always loved this area. Bottom part down there, there's a parking lot down there to the right. They do stock pheasants down there. So this area down here is very good for small game. There's always rabbits, squirrels in there. There used to be a few grouse here and there. But still very beautiful overlook. And it's a long way down there. I started hiking up there one day from the bottom, and nah, I changed my mind. I hunted that bottom pretty hard for some birds and the rabbits, but I came out with nothing. Never hunted that area again. It doesn't look that steep till you're at the bottom coming up, but very beautiful. Schuylkill County is a perfect deer machine. Schuylkill County has a lot of ag fields in the bottom. You can see them over there in the distance, and then the hills are always covered with red oak and white oak. So there's an abundance of food here, and there's a million places for them to hide. These areas always get hammered every year, but unfortunately most of the deer now, because of how many antlerless tags are out and how long the seasons are, most of your deer are coming from private property. And it's awesome if you have private property, but most of us do not, so it makes it very tough on us. All right, that's this side of the power line. Let's walk back up to the Game Lands Road, and we'll take a look out the other side. Give you one more last look here. Beautiful Schuylkill County. So beautiful up here. All right, let's take a stroll up the other end, and we'll look off the other side of the mountain where the power line drops down, and we'll see you over there. Yeah, we're on the other side of the power line. Still kind of windy up here. Let's peek over this side, see what it looks like. Hopefully the warm front will pass and it'll get cold again. I remember one day in rifle season, I believe it was the second week of rifle, and it was about 70 degrees. We came in the morning, it was really cold, and my buddy just dropped a big 8-pointer, and I shot a very large doe on the south side of the mountain laying in the sun in a very steep area, and we had to call for some backup. We had my dad, his brother, his other friends show up, and his other friends. We had 5 people dragging 2 deer out. The buck was about 200 pounds. My day was about $1.50. And took a whole posse to get them 2 deer off the mountain. That buck was a beast. He looked like a small moose, and he's hanging over my hunting partner's fireplace with this other monster 8-pointer hanging up. And Schuylkill County deer, there's a lot of food, and they can grow really large. The only downside is they don't get big racks. I don't know if it's genetics up here, but sometimes we find one that looks like a moose rack. Anything over 10 points with me, I don't have any heads hanging on my wall, but anything over 10 points, it looks like a moose, he's going to be hanging on the wall. But he has to have a very large spread. There's the other side of the mountain. Not quite as scenic as the other side. You can see the pond down there. Very nice up here. I prefer the view on the other side. It has a much larger area to view, and it's much prettier. This side's kind of rough. All right, let's take a break here, and I need some Gatorade. I'm gonna keep Charlie Cramp away. No cramps yet. They usually sneak up on me on the way home, so we'll be right back. Thanks for watching PA Timber Ghost 2 today. Hopefully you enjoyed coming along. State Game Lands 257. A little bit of reminiscing there. There'll probably be another video about this area at some point in time. Maybe we'll walk down the wire and check out the other overlooking the big power line, and walk down where I saw the original giant buck that started the PA Timber Ghost channel. Look down the bottom of the power line down there, you can see the combine going through the corn. Everybody's cutting their corn. I don't see him anymore. He was out here. Yeah, I think he's over here now. It's very relaxing up here. Very pretty. A lot of corn trucks going down the road. A lot of new houses up there. Every time I come up, I see new buildings and new houses. All right, thanks for coming along today. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching PA Timber Goes 2. Hit that subscribe button, it helps the channel. Comments are awesome. Let me know how you feel about deer hunting and reminiscing about how it used to be back in the 80s. At some point in time, I can start going through comments if we get enough, and put them on the video. If you want me to read them, you have to let me know down in the comments. Good old days of deer hunting are gone, and they were missed very greatly. It was a lot of fun over the years. Deer steaks and deer burgers are awesome, and us deer hunters are slowly fading away. Riding off into the sunset. You're getting a lot of gray hair there. No hair left there. I think I'm getting old too, slowing down a little bit. But as always, like, share, and subscribe. Comments are awesome. Let me know how you like the new channel, and we'll see you on our next video. Thanks for watching PA Timber Goes 2.